All right, it's time to give the old free 77 some love. And we're gonna do that in the form of a new radiator. And we're gonna do that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm the Oliver Man. This here is the 77 that came from Craig in Ohio. And the more we use it, the more things we find that need attention. One of them being radiator. You probably can't see it from here, but when I get the hood off, you'll see it. But this radiator's leaking. And at this point in their life, there really ain't much fixing of them. They're just too fragile, plus they make new ones. So what I did was I bought a new one, originally intending to use it on there because I didn't have one at all, and then I thought that's stupid. Let's put the good radiator on a tractor that we know is ready to roll, and we'll put the radiator that kind of works on the one that we're still tinkering with, trying to give, you know, new life to. So that's what we're gonna do. And really basically the way, the simplest way is just going to be to pull the whole front off of the tractor. You know what I'm saying. This piece here is what holds the grill. That's all one. So if we take that away, we'll be able to easily slip the new one in and whatever. We might even be able to just leave the hood where it is, you know. I don't think I put any bolts in anything. So I think that this might go somewhat simply. Remember when I said simply, because it won't. Get our not much of side pan off of here. This would probably be a good opportunity to go ahead and fix this, because we can, when we take the nose off, we can get this piece off and then we can make it more better. So maybe that's what we should do, because usually what I got to do is heat the screw head under there, and then that's enough to loosen it up where I can take that off. So we will visit that opportunity here shortly. Next thing we got to do is to pull these off of here again. So I need to get some tools probably. Should have brought tools before I started, right? Maybe we want to, before we're putting this back together, maybe we want to paint this the right way that it should be. So I don't know. But we do need to make things better as we go. And I think this radiator shroud is a little crumpled. So we can address that issue as well. But I got to get a 7/16 so I can get this all off of there, and then we'll proceed as necessary. One good thing is I see that these are hex head bolts, so it's probably been out of here before, which means we might actually get it out of there again. All right, I got my 7/16 here. Sure, that'll work. Will it? Maybe. See, this works great on those fasteners where each hex side is different. So, sure. Let's take this one loose a little bit. Uh-oh. We might have to switch to... Oh, no. That's unfortunate. Should we switch to the right tool or just keep going? Well, I tell you, I was sure that we had these off of there a while back. I guess we're gonna have to try something different. All right. You left me no choice. I tried to give it to you easy, but we'll just go the impact style if you won't play nice. Oh, you know what we could do? There. Sure. All right, we're parting her out, boys. No. Okay, well, we can do this one of two ways. I would rather probably see about taking the radiator loose while the rest of this is solid, and then we'll deal with everything else. The tractor needs a little bit of, we're gonna have to work on this nose cone. This has been in a little bit. This is not right. We can make her more better. We just have to take our time here. Yeah. That radiator just doesn't look too bad if it wasn't leaking so horrendously. It only leaks when it's full, you know? That's like they are. There is one more thing I want to do though real quick while I'm thinking about it, because it's bothering me every time I've looked at it. Let me finish this process that I was doing here. That's what we need for that. But I got another new part we need to put on here. I can't deal with this tall gas cap. That just breaks my brain. That is not there. That's much more better. I don't know if that's an IH variety or something, but no thanks. Let's see if we can make poor choices here. It's gonna be a trick. Yeah, great, see? There we go. Well, it worked. I'm kind of amazed. Can we have a repeat success with the bottom one? I'm betting that there's going to be failure anytime. Did it come loose or did it? Well. Feels like it's loose. I like the double lock washer. I don't know what we were doing there, but sure. Them old timers, they weren't too particular. As long as it had a bolt in it, that was good enough. Now. Come on. What's happening here? Do we have a different size nut than what is supposed to be? That's kind of what it feels like. Feels like that might be a square nut. Let's try the bottom one. Okay. It's real nice when you can't see what's happening, because I'm betting that top one's got a square nut on it. It just feels like it's not hex. Well, it came loose, thank goodness. Whatever. It's hot. Well, it wasn't. It was a hex nut, but it's just larger in diameter than it should be for a 5/16. Now for the rest. Of course, we won't be able to do it with tools that are powered. We probably could do some if I had an extension. And we got one. I've had these all out, so they should be. You will recall that is the way that I pulled the motor to work on the clutch, was just gonna have to persuade that more than just. Well, 3 out of 6 ain't bad. There we go. Now only 2 to worry about. All right, this is a job for the thinking stool. Yeah. So another thing we can do while we do this is replace this, because that's crappy looking, and the one on the block isn't the right style, and I want everything the same. And luckily I brought all those pieces along. I forgot that we need to get a valve cover gasket for this, because I think it's not very good. But that's a later problem. Right now his problem is Radiator replacement. Should probably also consider fan belt replacement, but I don't know if I'll do that or not. Boy, that wind is just making her about impossible to get you good quiet footage that doesn't have a lot of background noise. There's just not much I can do. All right, front half delete. Oh, that's not what I wanted to happen at all. You're making me mad, tractor. You didn't do what I wanted. Come on off of there. Now. Oh, man, that piece needs some loving on. We'll tackle that in a minute. All right. Boy, she looks good, doesn't she? But the backside is leaking. So now what we're gonna do is we'll get something to drain into. Hopefully those drains will come open. And then we will get this radiator pulled out of the way. And I imagine that we will probably spend half a day cleaning up the front of the motor, which we kind of skipped that step when we did the rest of it because that we couldn't get to. So now we're going to be able to get to it. So yeah, let's see if this will work. I fear that it's probably plugged up. Go back and forth maybe. There. I have a feeling that there's trash in the, well, yeah. Okay, well, see if we can convince it to go. Aw. It ain't gonna be, it's gonna run down the frame. Wah wah. That's okay, we can catch it. It's just not gonna be what we thought it would be. Alright, it's going in there. That's fine. It's just, it's not convenient for us at all. We'll just sit here and hold it, you know? What is it? Thinking stool, where are you? I could really use you right now. All right, we got nothing better to do than just sit here all day and hold it. But it will go in there. I'm not saving this. I never do. I always put in new. Used to, that was a lot more important to regularly flush and change antifreeze. Nowadays, I think they got it formulated where that maybe isn't as important, but it just is one of those things that in the grand scheme of things, I'd rather just have new than recycle. All right, while that finishes relieving itself, I'm going to stick you right there, and we're going to try to get this drain out of the block. And perhaps I can be set up because maybe it probably still has some in the block that doesn't come out through the radiator. So I need my new valve ready to go, is what I'm saying. Some people are gonna say, but that is the better kind, and I like that kind, and why are you not doing that kind? And, well, I don't like that kind. I like the kind that matches everything else I got. So, we're gonna go with it. It's probably gonna leak some out. Some nasty, dirty block water. Oh. That was not wasted effort because the first slug that came out of there was nasty, rusty, messy crap. So now we're gonna have nice clean water in there, right? We'll save this drain. I think this is like the Alice Chalmers style, whatever. It's usable for something else, but not this. I don't like it in this. In this one, we're going with our factory style. And we're going in a way that we can't even get the tools in. Probably would help if we used the right tools. Yep. Alright. That's good. Part of our stuff is done. Now I think we're ready to go ahead and pull that out of there. And we're going to use it in the other tractor, like I said. I've got new hose, so we'll probably just go ahead and put new hoses all the way around whilst we're at it. We'll clean up the timing cover and get all the crap off of there. And just clean up and meadow greenify the front of the motor like we did everything else. Then we know we're starting with cleanness. That's loose. Oh, we're gonna have to, because of the way that I did it, not taking the hood off. We're gonna probably have to work harder. I think we can do it. All right, that was like the Knutsen's Asian cousin, Holy Knutsen. Jeez, that was ridiculous. I'm gonna take this off because the other tractor won't use this same setup. We're gonna have to be very careful though, because I see the whole thing's moving as we go. But yeah, that bottom, the tank, the bottom of this top tank, somebody has repaired once before and just made a general mess of it. Let's go carry this over to the other tractor, or I will, and that way it doesn't get destroyed. I started laughing because look at that belt to the alternator. I don't think she's gonna run very much more, but we're not gonna give it attention today because we're not gonna leave that alternator on there. I'll get a mini alternator and then we'll have to, you know, deal with that then. But what I think I'm gonna do right now is try to clean up all the rest of this, because I mean, look at this thick layer of, like, everything has got a thick layer where stuff has been leaking for years on it. And then it just got, like, I bet that radiator leaked for a long time and then never got any attention, you know? So I'm gonna just kind of hang out here and scrape a bunch and see what I can accomplish cleaning it up. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna start from clean. If I go to all this trouble, we're gonna not just slap it in, we're gonna get all of this garbage out of there. And we should probably put cardboard down in our frame to save us the hassle of having to redo that again, because it's already clean and ready to go, you know? So this is gonna be a pain to clean, I'll tell you, because there's so much. We need to just go ahead and get that lower hose off and we'll deal with that on the table type of situation, because we're gonna replace the hose on it, on that elbow. No way are we gonna leave the old hose after all this. Plus we need to get that bottom drain out before it's said and done, so we can put our new one in. Lots of trash. I mean, that's a thick layer of stuff. I think maybe we should, well, I'm gonna regret all this if I do. If I take the fan off and then just get the belts off for now, I don't know. I really need to wait, and I don't have any more mini alternators, so I'm gonna have to order one. But I know I won't be able to, just guess the size right. I really need to have the other thing here, so I don't know. Let's take this off. Clock washer disintegrated. That one did too. That one almost did. Sidetrack projects. Sidetrack projects. That's pretty bad, friends. All right. That got us in a little bit better, where we can clean off all of this caked on stuff. And boy, is there ever a lot. I also think I'll just go ahead and take this alternator off for now, so that it's not in our way while we clean. We'll have to put it back in after a while for belt purposes. Well, I guess we wouldn't even have to put the belt on right now. Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's gonna be a while, friends. It's gonna be a while. Also, we'll probably find out immediately after cleaning this all up if this governor housing is leaking. Maybe that's what caused part of our problem. I have had some of these governor housings on these fleet lines where they, like a dowel pin vibrates out and then they start leaking oil, but usually it's violently leaking oil, like you would know. I don't think you'd be able to get by this long until it got this caked up with stuff. Although people do impressive things. I've seen some pretty impressive self-destruction that people were able to accomplish, so anything is possible. You know, anything is possible. All right, well, I think what we're gonna have to do now is switch to air tools, and first of all use the air wand and get rid of all this stuff we've scraped off so far, and then we will get the little wire whirler and try to knock loose some more pieces, and then we'll get some of the old good brake clean and just whatever we got to do to keep this going, because there's a lot of dirt and sadness right here. You see years of buildup and things. It probably has a leaking front crank seal, but today is not the day for that. If it only leaks a little, never will probably be the day for that. I suspect that a lot of this accumulation is where the radiator was leaking for years and years, and then dirt and dust stuck to all that stuff, and it created all this nasty mess. But it's possible that there's more stuff, you know, leaking, or was leaking and was stopped from leaking. I don't know. All right, how foolish was I to think that this would be a simple 1 hour project. I've turned it into a way longer time than that. I've been cleaning for probably 2 hours trying to get this good enough, and it's still not where I want it to be, so I'll probably keep going. I'm out of brake clean, unfortunately, which is very sad. My cleaner of choice. But we'll come up with something else. But anyway, I thought it'd be a neat thing to do some oddities about this tractor that I've noticed. Number one being, it's got a cast iron governor, and that's kind of unusual. I would say it's been replaced, especially since it has a 6-digit part number there, 180 144B. So the tractor's probably, I don't know, later on in the 3-digit era, 4-digit era, it messed up and they put that on. But I don't know that I've run across another one that was cast iron. I mean, even on the 4 digits, they were aluminum. So, not exactly sure what's going on. Have to do some looking in the parts book and see if that was maybe off a 770 or something, like the flat top fendered variety, and then I don't know. So that's something. And then this seat is actually something unique, but before I talk about that, let me show you the other seats so that you know where I'm going with this. Oh good, I was hoping I could get to one here. I was going to use that other tractor out there, but that seat's not in very good shape. So this Ride Master seat is what I would call the Fleetline seat. This is the first version that has, it's totally different the way it's made. And it's got this tube around here. That's a telltale sign, I guess. But all the shackles and everything are different. The rubbers are different. And this was the first version. And you also, they made it available later as a conversion seat where you could put it on, like, I've got one on my 70 and I've got one on my 60, and they had a different frame, but the mounting part of the frame was different, but the suspension part was the same. But this is the first rendition of this, the Fleetline seat, as I would call it. Then you go over to any of these other tractors, and we're gonna say that this is the super style seat. This one isn't put together right, so don't look too good at the, actually both of those aren't put together right, but we'll tackle that some other time. But you can see the differences in it. The rubbers are in the center, and then it uses shackles like this, and then these U-bars, and they are actually held in with roll pins, okay? And like I said, that's not exactly right. And I think this one is put together upside down too, for whatever reason. When people rebuild them, they get a little bit out of whack sometimes. But that's the same style seat with the U-bars coming around from the back, which is the way they should be. But the difference is here, you can see the suspension, and what we're going to talk about in a minute is the U-bars are held in with roll pins, okay? So this is what I would call the super style seat, or the 3-digit seat. But there is actually an in-between variety, which I would call the Fleetline / super seat, because it looks like that, but it was available on the late Fleetlines, and this tractor that we got from Ohio has that version on it, and I'll show you what the difference is. All right, so this is the other variant of the seat. Pay no mind to what's in there, because that spring business is not, I don't believe that has anything to do with it. Somebody's done something. But the difference is these U-bars have a threaded end to hold them in instead of roll pins. And this is the only tractor I've ever run across that has that on it. But that is the middle variation of this seat. And yeah, no roll pins, just threaded. This one needs some serious attention too, but that's very unusual. I don't know, I haven't run across that before. And what we got to do, well, see, in the reproduction world, you can get the whole seat assembly of the roll pin style for like $300 and some. So a lot of people just do that and replace the whole thing. But if you have the threaded in, you should consider saving it, because that is a unique piece of the puzzle. It's a shame that the whole frame of this one's bent a little bit, and I don't know how well that will straighten out. If that metal is like springy sometimes, and it doesn't like to play ball, so I don't know. But interesting things. And then another thing that was interesting is this is actually loose on here, so we might have a chance of adjusting this tension on this pulley, or it was a minute ago. I had it moving. So the way you tighten that belt is you squeeze this pulley together tighter. And so anyway, yeah. But I think I need to clean this up a little more, and then we'll be ready to continue on our project. We got to tackle that thing, and then once that's done, we can put the radiator back in. So apparently I think I'm going to make this a 2-day project. Maybe it'll be one video for you, I don't know, but I got more work to do. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.